In this tutorial, I'm showing you how to import your Google form into Weavly AI and add a whole bunch of advanced feature to it. So that could range from adding signatures to conditional logic, answer piping, just customizing the look and feel of your form. Everything can be done inside of Weavly by simply importing your Google form. So let's first start with the importing part. If you go to weavly.ai and you press start for free, you'll immediately dive into the AI editor. So you have chat on the left, the form that you're building in the middle, and then on the right you can do some manual tweaking if you want to. So the way you import your Google form into Weavly and get started tweaking it is by pressing this import form button. It will ask you to first connect your account, which it needs to just be able to read in your form. And this is pretty standard, so this is just a single sign-on Google kind of thing. Make sure if you have multiple accounts that you pick the account that actually owns or has created the form that you want to import. So I'll just be picking my personal account and we'll be using that one as an example. So press continue. Don't forget to give the right access here. Otherwise, again, Weavly can't read in your form. And then the connection part is set up. So now when we press import a form, we're able to paste in the Google form editor URL and it would import the form. So this is the part where we need to copy the form's URL. So mind you, make sure that you are in the account that you connected with Weavly. Again, it needs to be the same account, otherwise it won't work, obviously. You just pick any survey or form that you have in Google Form, and the link you'll need is not the responder link, but it's the edit link. So the one that is in the top bar of your browser, this one is the one that you'll want to copy and then paste into weavly.ai. And then when you press the import button, it will actually go through your form, take on everything. So it can be the rating questions, the sort of headings that you have, pages that you might have in different sections. So it takes in your Google form and it turns that into a Weavly form. Now, before you think like, okay, but Weavly, what is this? It's also a completely free tool. So you get unlimited form, unlimited responses, but you can add a whole bunch of cool features to it. So let me show you what you can do. So let's say, for example, that you want to add a signature to your form. Well, you can just ask the AI to do that. So add a signature field to the form at the bottom of the first page, for example. And it's going to then automatically add this for us. So we now have a signature field in here, and this actually works. So if we go into the preview of our form, I can sign this thing here. I can reset the signature. So we have all of the questions that we had in our Google Forms, but now with this cool signature field, just added in a second by asking the AI. So another thing that you can do is set up advanced custom logic. So for example, let's say that you want to only ask the what's the more important feature question if the person has answered weekly on the how often do you use, right? So again, you can just ask the AI. I only want to show the what is the most important feature question if the respondent has answered weekly on the how often do you use online form builders questions. Set up the conditional logic for me. So I didn't type this out because it's actually a lot more easy to just dictate. Depending on who you are, you either like or don't like dictation. But here you go. So it's set up the logic rule for us. And again, if we go into preview, you see the question disappeared, right? The question that we wanted to conditionally show. So the what is the most important feature? That thing is gone. And if I press weekly, it shows up. But if I press anything else than weekly, the question is not shown, right? So you can set up advanced conditional logic just by asking the AI. Now there's a whole bunch of other cool features as well. So for example, you could tweak the look and feel of your form. You can either just do it manually. So there's a bunch of templates in here that you can pick from. So going from pretty standard, like this one looks pretty standard, to pretty funky ones with this sort of retro look and feel. And I can then just tweak the way that this looks. Or again, I could ask the AI for specific color codes that I want to use, or I could ask it to look for a specific image that I want to use as the top banner, this sort of thing. So we have something which is functionally the same as a Google form, but let's be honest, looks better and also has a lot of other features as well. Now, if you're using Google Forms, you probably collect your responses in a Google Sheet, and then you might be worried that using a tool like Weavly will mean that your responses will no longer be in a Google Sheets, but there's also a whole bunch of integrations here. So if I want all of the responses of my form to go to Google Sheets, I have a dedicated tutorial about that as well, but essentially what it comes down to is just pressing this add button here and then choosing which answers that I want in my Google Sheet. and then just create the integration and the data will automatically flow to a new Google Sheet. So same goes for Airtable, HubSpot, MailChimp. So there's a whole bunch of different integrations that you can use to get your data from Weebly to a different tool as well. And then of course, sharing is going to be the same thing as you would expect from Google Forms, but then better. So you have either just link, so I can copy this link in my browser and I have a form which I can fill out, or I can also embed it on my website. So I can embed the form here as a pop-up or just as a regular embed, and I get a QR code to share. So this is how you import your form into Weebly and add a whole bunch of different cool features like signatures, like conditional logic, simply by using the AI.